everyone. Thank you for joining us on this new adventure. I am Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. This is the show that we've been waiting for a long time because it's a show you guys have been waiting for a long time. It's just kind of a show developed for you, inspired by you, and we're here for you.
I should have worn the same dress tonight, I think.
That was it. 2 years ago. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Happy birthday. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Welcome to News Center Now's anniversary show. This is 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years today. Yeah, you left, but we got you back. You know, at least for one night. A one-night appearance only. So it's good to have you here. We got a couple other OG members with us as well. Dr. Costa, Dr. Carson.
What's up?
The four of us are the only ones still here, from 2 years ago. Minus, of course, the unbelievable Bill Taylor, who's directing this show.
That's true.
Bill Taylor deserves the world. So. This is going to be a special half hour. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about, how we've gotten here and what the show's about. But look, here's some of the OG cast there. Look at that. There's Hannah.
Do you remember all
Ryan
the rehearsals I made us do?
Show us.
You made us do rehearsals and never showed up.
Can we tell you about rehearsals? Rehearsals, we were supposed to be practicing all these different shows, and Keith was supposed to come in to practice the weather part.
Right.
Never ever showed up because we would do them at like 2:30, and he's like, "That's too early. I'm not back from my lunch break yet," which starts at 12:30.
Right.
So hold on. Now, I'm not great at math, but that seems excessive.
My response was,
not back yet.
Am I still in front of the green screen? I'm like, I got it. We're good. And the show was great. We had no problems.
So we had TV Teddy would stand in and do the weather stuff for you. So I had a little different perspective than I think all three of you guys. Having never done any semblance of news before and only doing sports, this for me was totally brand new. And I was like, I'm all in. There's no box. We can do any stories about anything we want to do. What was it like for you guys who have done, have done regular news, and then we'll get to do these long, in-depth kind of features of stuff that we were really interested in?
Yeah, it was definitely different. It was what was nice about it, though, is that it was a show that kind of gave us a chance to delve a little bit deeper into stories. I mean, one of my favorite shows was our very first show, in which you got to take a viewer out and answer a question about what it's like to be a police officer in a very scary situation.
I think that's one of the coolest parts about the whole show, is that it's so predicated on what you guys bring to us as questions, whether it's on our Facebook live stream or writing in to Ask Now. It gives us a chance to answer your questions directly and not just tell you, well, this is what we think the news of the day should be, but also, while including that, making sure that we answer your questions along the way and trying to find cool and fun and creative ways to do it. And sometimes a little bit. That's the best part.
I think that's the biggest thing we've done, really. For me, it's just brain drops. Like, I try to do that stuff when I can, but to have a dedicated segment in it is good.
When people would ask me what the show's like, I would say it's like talk radio, but on TV. So if you're listening to the radio and you want to call in with a question to the radio host, you can actually now do that on television. With a Facebook message or send us,
we should do
a
live
story
call-ins.
idea. There'd have to be a long delay for you.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I equated to. It's like instant viewer satisfaction to get questions answered and have a team that says, hey, I wanted you to do a story on this. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. That flexibility was pretty cool. So
yeah. All right, we should get to some news tonight because that's what this show is all about.
Some of the half hour going back, but we are now going to move forward because there's news today.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to start with Chris, actually. After two high-profile cases, a Chinese couple in Portland trafficking women for sex, and Patriots owner Robert Kraft allegedly soliciting a prostitute in a human trafficking ring. Now, lawmakers in Augusta considering decriminalization of prostitution.
And it's Chris, you spent your day working on this story. We talked a lot about it as it's gone along. We've done a lot of sex trafficking stories on this program specifically, and this could be a law.
Right, and it's introduced by Representative Lois Reckitt from South Portland earlier today. We also spoke with Dee Clark, who's a survivor of human trafficking and prostitution, and she believes that while decriminalizing might have some short-term benefits, it may not have the long-term benefits that could help people get out of the business.
This is real. This really did happen. This really happened to me.
Dee Clark remembers being sex trafficked at the age of 12.
It took a long time to recover. But it's not unique. I've met loads of women just like me.
In her role as executive director of Survivor Speak USA, she's coaching women to help them get out and stay out of the business of commercial sex. She believes that decriminalizing prostitution will work against the goal of getting them help.
Now it says that person's not breaking the law, so we don't have to go and try to determine how we can help or not help. It doesn't make sense, because if you're looked at as trafficked, there's at least a path.
A path that involves help from law enforcement and the state, connecting these people working in commercial sex by choice or circumstance with the resources they need to get out.
They end up with a criminal record that can totally ruin their life.
Representative Lois Reckitt says decriminalization is based on law enforcement interacting with survivors in a caring way.
The women eventually begin to not look at the police as, oh my God, I got to get out of here, but these are people that might help me not have violence perpetrated on me.
The bill also proposes expunging the criminal records of people previously convicted of offering services as a prostituted person. Both women agree that survivors do not need to be punished, but they differ on how best to help.
I think the only way you get rid of prostitution is to reduce the demand. And the only way you can reduce the demand is to get the buyers not to want to buy because it's dangerous for them.
They should have rights, but decriminalizing a crime isn't helping at all. It's not going to fix the situation.
So the bill actually increases the penalties for people buying sex, but it also decreases the penalties for people who are offering the services. Now, the bill also changes the term prostitute to prostituted person. So, Lee and Amanda, this presents a very difficult paradox. Is it going to provide the long-term help that these people need, or is it going to only provide short-term help by getting rid of criminal charges? It's a really interesting discussion I had with both these people today.
All right, I feel like we'll be talking a lot more about this topic. Thank you very much, Mr. Costa. Coming up a little bit later on the program, the two of us will talk a little bit about some of our favorite stories that we've done on this show.
Yeah, we're also going to be hearing some messages from some familiar faces on now, like Christina Rex.
Being a part of the Now team was one of the best experiences of my life. This team is smart, they're caring, they're determined, and most of all, they're a family. I miss you guys.
She got permission. Yeah, we got clearance.
Peacock? Okay.
All right, what's going on, guys? Thank you for all the anniversary wishes. Thank you, Joe Utley. Thank you very much. Best local news show by far. Much appreciated. And Mary says, I agree, it's kind of like talk radio on TV. So that was just like the best way for me to explain to people when we first started. They didn't get it. And I was like, well, when you listen to the radio, when you hear something, don't you want to like pick up the phone and call in and ask a question? Yeah, just like that,
Yeah,
except
that
on TV.
We certainly talked about when we were talking about what do we need out of this show.
Right.
And I think that was the big thing is, well, let's answer the viewers.
Yeah.
Let's keep them included, because most of the time when we do a news story on our show, it's like someone will email us and then we'll look into it days later or something like that. But this is, it's like instant gratification, instant feedback.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the news is generally talking at you. Here's what's going. And this show is supposed to be designed to talk to you because it's their ideas coming in, and that's why we're doing it. So
All right, moving on
that's
here.
the goal.
Coco, we have a question.
We're moving.
About your story. Where'd you go? What was the, where did it go? Federal prosecution potentially against the women could still apply, right? Although maybe not, as prostitution is legal in some counties in Nevada. Is that something you can answer?
Yeah, so that was a lot of the discussion that we didn't really get into as much, honestly, just because we ran out of time. But about the federal laws versus the state laws. So I don't know if that federal prosecution holds up. I would imagine it would, depending on the case.
Okay. Good to
I don't know
know.
if that helps, but.
Did you say fairly quickly?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Holy cow, this is quite a lead-in.
No, that's not the lead-in. That's the body to the. Oh, hey Isaac, I'm not going to read that intro. Okay, fine. Yeah, you just say that was Katie, and then I'll just take it from there, because I don't have anything written. I'm just going to make it up.
Okay.
Hers is about 18 seconds.
Happy 2-year anniversary to Now, a show that will always mean so much to me, especially being a part of the OG team from the beginning. Congratulations to Keith, who hasn't done anything to get it shut down in 2 years. Lee, Lindsay, Coco, everybody, I miss you guys so much. Keep doing great work.
She brings up a great point there, Keith not getting us kicked off the air.
It's been close a few times.
Katie Ortiz, you guys remember her. She was our digital diva.
Digital diva. So as we've been going through the memory lane, if you will, and just thinking about all the different stories we've been able to do over the past couple of years, for me, obviously so many childhood cancer stories that I've met so many great kids, starting with Haley Stewart in Bethel, and obviously Jacob Thompson, and him, and a surrogate mom who gave birth to twins for a friend, and just so many great stories. But there's one that really touched me. I think it touched all of us, and we just want to show you that one today. John and Joan Baldwin's love story started a long time ago, a really long time ago. They've known each other since kindergarten. After reconnecting later in life, they married in 2014, and shortly after, Joan became pregnant with a girl who they named Maeve. As the delivery date approached, Maeve's heart stopped beating. The next day, Joan gave birth to her stillborn daughter.
We got pregnant with Maeve on the first try, and
very
to
easily.
have her die at full term and to lose her like that was devastating. When you lose a baby, not a lot of couples survive that.
The Baldwins decided to open up about their loss and share it, not just with friends and family, but with the world. Joan would write and write about her pain on Instagram and quickly realized she wasn't alone.
The more I shared, the more healing it became.
In the wake of Maeve dying, in the wake of our full-term stillbirth, Joan was very alone. She felt very alone. It was making me really sad. So for her to find people that had stories similar, if not exactly like ours, that helped in her healing process.
Joan and John decided to try again, but this time getting pregnant wasn't as easy. Infertility treatments were not working. A friend mentioned there was a contest on YouTube where one couple would win the money to pay for in vitro fertilization, a roughly $15,000 procedure that's cost prohibitive for most. The Baldwins entered and won.
I just thought if we kept trying and kept trying, then it had to happen.
Only 5 eggs were able to be harvested, and only 2 of those turned into embryos. Joan got pregnant with the first one, but then miscarried. The final embryo stayed frozen for 6 months while they decided what to do. Then, it was time for the final try. Meet Vera Mae Baldwin, born on Father's Day.
She's so healthy, she's so healthy, and she's such a happy baby. I love her so much. I really didn't think that we'd get here, ever.
The long and at times broken road has ended in the Baldwins being able to finally share, both privately and with their tens of thousands of online supporters, a happy ending.
We've had people who have been there for us since the beginning, through the really hard times, and now we can celebrate with them.
And the ability to do stories just like that is why I love this show.
Really cool.
Yep.
All right, coming up, I'm going to share my favorite story, and Cam takes us on another adventure during Restaurant Week.
Plus, we're always in for an adventure when Keith shows up. His forecast is coming up next. We didn't get you anything. Seriously, it's just, why is that? Why does that happen?
Says, always love this story, Lee.
Mary Jean, or Marie Jean, and I'm sorry for not knowing which way it is. That is Isaac Lucan. He is our producer. He's currently producing right now in the booth. And yes, he did get engaged, and we showed that the other day on the air. So he is the producer of our show. And I'm so glad that he is a survivor. And honestly, I wish that there were less childhood cancer stories to be done, but it's certainly a topic I'm passionate about, and if we can help bring attention to it to raise awareness and ultimately raise money for research to maybe put an end to this someday, then we'll tell as many little kiddo stories that we have to. So yeah. I'd love to tell less for sure. Jesse, you're welcome. That was a great story too. It was really hard. There were so many stories over 2 years, because we do a story a day.
Every day, yeah.
So every single day, 5 days a week, times 2 years, it's a lot of stories. I've done way more, stories in 2 years than I ever did in when I was just anchoring. So But I love it. It's
You know
cool.
what's been kind of cool about this show too, and I'm seeing some comments on here, like one from Paul, is that you have a lot of people who lived in Maine for a while and moved out of state, and now this is sort of where they get their quick news headlines of the day. Is
Sure.
coming on Facebook and watching the show with us. So that's always good to see people.
Oh
tuning
yeah,
in.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, we've had
Sorry,
people watching
Sarah.
from all over. Are you leaving? Are we?
We're in the newsroom.
We are.
Yep. Sarah Emerson, your story was so amazing. Sarah was just, we were blessed. She let us in while she rang the bell for her final cancer treatment. And gosh, what a story that was. Just so many people I've been able to meet doing these great stories. So, and they all come from you guys. So, I mean, really, just get to meet the most inspirational people. So, Sarah Emerson, you are my hero.
Yeah,
Sarah ran the Beach to Beacon, and on the back of her shirt, she was like, I just had chemo, you can do this. So for the people behind her running, that was their inspiration. Like,
That's
imagine
so
seeing that in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, is this your story?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say literally one thing.
Oh, you're kicking it off?
Just, yeah, and then you talk.
Happy birthday now, 2 years. I can't believe it. I know I've only been along for the ride about a year, but boy, has it been amazing. What a great team to work with. I miss you all so much, and I'll see you next week.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
where is she?
She's in Florida. I don't want to talk about it. So your favorite story is one of my least favorite stories.
This was so great because one of the ideas we had was to follow people along on their day jobs. And so we actually followed along with some ghost hunters in Rumford. Apparently a lot of weird stuff goes on at the Rumford Community Center, so we decided to follow along a team of ghost hunters to see what their day is like. Come on, Lee, let's go.
I mean, we used to come in here several times a week, every weekend. I've always been on the psychic end of it where I don't want to know anything about anything. I just, give me an address, I'll show up.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we just had something really weird happen.
I heard something.
These cameras are all in the basement. I saw a light pass right in front of the camera a second ago.
Let's go on down and check it out. So I haven't been down here yet, but we are definitely hearing a lot of weird stuff.
I'm not loving this.
Because they know that people aren't going to come here, and this is probably the safest place for them.
Like, why are there chairs over there?
Well, good. Ghost needs a place to sit, right?
If you stand here in the dark, you all of a sudden start swaying.
And we're gonna light off.
Light off.
All right.
Lee, you moving?
No.
You would have never thought this would be in here.
Well, he doesn't necessarily believe in ghosts, is what we've learned, but loves the gym.
This is the greatest gym I've ever been in. This is like Hickory, Indiana, Hoosiers. I'm looking for Gene Hackman.
This is a Frank's box, which is actually it's a homemade spirit box. Sweeps AM and FM stations. And the theory behind it, spirits can actually manipulate phonetics in order to generate words, sometimes even full sentences through this. If there's somebody here with us right now, can you just do me a favor? What's the color of my hat? What's the color of this hat I got on my head?
Do you think that Lee is doing a good job on News Center now?
No, I don't really believe in ghosts. I don't really necessarily believe in Bigfoot or any of that other stuff either. That's why I'm here. That's what drives me, is to find out, is this real or is this just a bunch of hooey? No, I am not afraid of being in a bad situation when it comes to the paranormal, and I think a lot of that has to do with just being ignorant, and I kind of like that. I don't really want to know too much, because a lot of people say that if you come to a location like this, there's a good chance you could bring something home. You could have a spirit follow you.
You hear that?
Do not follow us home. Ever.
Period.
The end.
That's right. They belong here. They must stay here.
You stay here.
We're leaving. You stay.
I loved that so much. You hated every second.
I'm still creeped out by it.
You were not even a little creeped out.
The shoes thing?
The shoes thing was creepy.
It was
Don't touch
creepy.
the shoes
We don't
because
have time for
curses
that.
will follow you.
It's bad.
Okay.
Anyway.
Nobody got time for that?
No.
All right. I don't know how to go.
Weather.
from-
Just
Are we cursed with the weather, or are we
Dive
going to be
in.
all right?
No, it's
or-
all right today. It's a little cold, chilly. What's that look for, Amanda? What'd I do?
I'm waiting for you to do your job.
Just a bad transition.
We've been waiting 2 years for that.
20. Really, collectively, even longer. 21 for wind gusts in Portland, 26 in Bangor. It's pretty gusty. This afternoon, it gusted to 40 miles an hour over the southern part of the state. And so you add or subtract that to the wind and the temperatures, and it feels like 6 in Portland, 3 in Lewiston, 11 below in Greenville, 1 below in Millinocket, and we still have plenty of time to cool down overnight tonight. It will be chilly with just a couple of clouds and a few snow showers that are waning as the sun sets now. You'll see these kind of die out. They're driven by the sun, and so these will peter out in the next couple of hours. Overnight it is cold. It is clear in most spots. Temperatures right around 10 along the coastline, below 0 in the mountains. Tomorrow is actually technically our coldest day of the week. However, there won't be as much wind, so it might be a bit of a wash, ending up around 20 to 23 along the coastline, upper teens to around 20 farther inland. Isolated snow shower in the afternoon. Most of the day, though, is quiet. And then Friday and Saturday, I like temperatures into the mid-30s, and both days are mostly sunny. So Saturday looks really good. Sunday is not going to be nice. Sunday's going to be every storm we've had this year, except for the last one. Basically, starts as snow Sunday late morning through Sunday afternoon, eventually changes over to cold rain along the coastline by Sunday night into Monday morning, sleet across the interior, and snow into the mountains, and then we warm up a bit on Monday. We'll talk about amounts as we get a little bit closer to this. But the timing, again, Sunday looks a little rough. I would not say that you need to cancel any plans, guys. It just looks snowy and sleety and rainy. But we spring forward on Saturday night, so the sunset on Sunday will be 6:40. That's the good news. Bad news is good luck seeing the sunset on Sunday because it's going to be a trashy day. But we're pretty mild on Monday behind it. Do a little melting flurry on Tuesday. Next week, at least until as far as we can see out about Thursday, looks mild-ish. Upper 30s, low 40s.
Sunday, are we locking that in, or we still got time?
Yeah, no, it'll snow and sleet and.
I was hoping.
It's every storm we've had this year.
All right,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Halfway point now of the main restaurant week, which means we're all hungry. Cameron O'Brien's been checking out the places every day, seeing what allergy-friendly eats people have to offer.
Yeah, today she takes us to Cape Elizabeth for our next food adventure.
Looking for simple, honest food that packs a punch? Pull up a chair at the Good Table.
Good food. It's always good here. Always good.
The family environment, the great Maine feel. I think the Good Table completely embodies everything that we love about living in Cape Elizabeth.
Chef and owner Lisa Kostopoulos opened this spot 33 years ago.
To feed people and make everybody feel at home and welcome.
She took some time to chat in the middle of a hectic restaurant week. It's their 5th go-round.
For me, it's a great way to impress people who may not have been here before. And I encourage people to go to other restaurants, too, and make sure that they check out new places that they might not normally go.
This year, they're bringing back fan favorites.
At lunchtime, we have our pulled pork on, which is beloved. We like to step like 1 foot into spring because we're getting there, but keep 1 foot back in winter where we obviously still really are. Yeah.
Got allergies or dietary preferences? They'll adjust anything on the menu. And if that doesn't work, no worries. They'll whip up something you can have.
Because your mother would never say to you, I'm not going to feed you because you've got an allergy.
I don't happen to have any allergies, but I know many people that do. And I know they're very grateful to finally be recognized that it's not all in their heads.
Regulars say it's the amazing food and even better people that put the Good Table way above the rest.
Any restaurant, especially like the Good Table, that does it so effortlessly and makes such a great effort to do what they're doing, it's always going to be a success.
In Cape Elizabeth, Cameron O'Brien, News Center, Maine.
And Cam's going to Robert Main's Grill in Kittery tomorrow.
Okay, we have one more message from a Now team member to get to, then a final goodbye.
Happy anniversary, News Center Now. I can't believe it's been 2 years. It feels like just yesterday I was standing at the desk with you guys. So proud of what you've accomplished, and I know you will do so much more good work in the future.
It's a huge resource.
Oh, KO. Hey, girl.
K-Rex and KO both tuning in on the interwebs.
Oh, hello. I missed K-Rex on here.
No, don't worry. I did not bring anything home. And if I did, it's her fault. So
It is.
I'm just talking to Karen. She
we-
wants to talk to you right now.
Hi, Karen.
It was weird.
We brought them home, but left them in the newsroom, so it's fine.
Which
they
is-
just joined the newsroom ghosts.
So it's barely noticeable.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just like how it is.
Yeah.
So
It's just another day at News Center, Maine.
yeah.
We actually had ghost hunters walk through our newsroom. Were you here for that?
Mm-mm.
It was on the overnight shift because the producers swear up and down that they hear like tapes will randomly fall off the shelves. Just weird things happen overnight here. The ghost of Joe Kupo.
Do doors get kicked in at all or no?
Yeah. Computers get thrown.
But yeah, they said there was a high energy.
Wow.
So, just so you know.
Wow.
Lee's Monster Energy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must be over my area. I'm high energy until I fall asleep. Okay, how much time is there gonna be after that? After Keith? Okay.
What'd you think? That's what you think.
Yeah, so go fast. Obi, make sure you're ready. Coco. It's after brain drops. You guys are just gonna come on up. No.
Okay, where's everybody going?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Sammy and Cam, are they?
Sam has left. She's on a story.
Okay.
So we will.
Cam?
Yeah, and Coco.
Cam and Coco.
Do we think that was a house of a relative of Lindsay's? Pretty nice.
I don't know where they're
Pretty
staying.
legit,
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're in Florida?
Although literally
'Cause
every
this is
house
the
in Florida comes with a swimming pool.
It does,
so
you're right. But that was a
this
nice
is the
one.
second time they've been in Florida. They must know
No,
somebody
they do have
there.
relatives there.
yeah, no, I think Clay's family's down there.
Stand by. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're in Boca.
Classic.
I really do
That's
think
it.
they're actually in Boca. I made fun of them and I'm like, oh, that's really where you're going.
All right, today's brain drops. Interesting. I never really thought about this. Celebratory gunfire. It's illegal in most states, but it still happens. There was a case in 2017 of a state senator getting hit with a bullet when he came outside the house, and it was from it falling down. What I learned when doing a little research on it is if you truly fire it vertically, 100% vertically, or 90%, it's actually not as dangerous because it goes up to the point where it's going the same speed as gravity, 9.8 meters a second. Then it sits on its side and starts fluttering down. So usually that's safe. The problem is most people can't do that and they just go like this. And so the bullet actually reaches a speed that's about 100 meters per second after coming out of the barrel around 500 meters a second, then picks up more speed from gravity on the way down and can hit the ground at 200 meters per second. I thought this was really interesting. August 8th, 1988, thousands of people were injured, hundreds died after the Iran-Iraq war ceasefire was declared. They were shooting their guns in the air in celebration, and the bullets came back down.
I always wonder what happens to those things.
Right.
Gotta
They
live
come back
somewhere,
down.
right?
Somewhere.
They come back down, and there's been cases on New Year's Eve and whatnot of children being hit with them and all that. So it's obviously unlikely that it happens.
So don't do it.
So what goes up
Yeah.
must come
Don't-
down.
don't
Think
shoot.
about that.
All right, Coco,
Maybe
Cameron,
don't do
over
that.
here. We're gonna get ready to say goodbye. We mentioned him briefly. We got to talk about Bill Taylor.
Yep.
He's been our director from the beginning of this thing, and this is a show where we literally say on a daily basis, we're not sure what's gonna happen. Just go with it. And his answer is always like, okay.
Right.
And that is just a huge asset for us. So Billy, thank you for everything you've done. And we've had Hannah and Rachel and Isaac, our three awesome producers for the last 2 years, who have all been great. So we couldn't have done all this without them.
And we didn't. We don't even give Bill a free cruise every time that
No,
this comes up.
no. You also should give a huge shout out to the viewers because that's a good chunk of this show is all of the feedback that comes in and all of the story suggestions. So big thank you to you guys.
We get some feedback for sure. All right. So we're not going to end the show with any celebratory gunfire, right?
No,
it wasn't the plan.
We're not, that
just
would be
remember,
bad.
if you do it, just go straight vertical.
Make sure you shoot straight up.
The third floor.
Or we could go my way.
What's
and
that?
don't do it.
Okay.
I feel like that's a lot safer.
Take us home. Who's gonna say it? Where's the
Amanda? Get us out of here. We're never gonna see you
News
again.
Center at 5:30 starts right now. You'll see me until 7.
I meant here, silly.
Bye,
Hi, peeps. See ya. See you tomorrow.